Hey everybody, Nick here. Welcome back to the channel. So, when I started my journey or my awakening a number of years ago, I started to go down rabbit holes thinking about, conspiracies and kind of doing my own research, you know, reading other people's research, obviously. There's a lot of people who do their own types of research. They look up different documents, they find out different information, they put the puzzle together, they connect the dots. And when I started to see everything that was going on in the world that I've learned up to this point, which includes like how the system is a very manipulative one. It controls us. This hell realm is some sort of perceptual trap. Maybe it's some matrix, some very advanced program, simulation. And I just started thinking about other things. It led me to different paths. It led me to thinking about this existence, what we are, in this body, this physical, biological, that we call it biological, organic, whatever body. And it really does make you think about every single aspect of existence, of life, of this reality. And if you're not careful, I reached a point where I started to question my own sanity. I don't have that problem now, but when I started, thinking about every single detail, you really have to be careful, because your brain is whatever created us, whatever, for whatever reason it's there, is a problem solver. So if you get down those rabbit holes and you start thinking about all the issues and like, why does this happen, and certain things that you just simply cannot find the answer to, your brain can get stuck in some sort of loop. It's trying to, how would I say, resolve the problem, solve the problem, and find answers. Not everybody obviously will question everything. Most human beings, sadly, the NPCs, and do not question it, hardly anything. I've talked about this many times. But my point is, you have to be very careful for which path you go down, because not everyone can handle all of this stuff. Especially when you find out the world is not the way we thought it was. The system is not the way we thought it would work for us. It doesn't work for the average person. It works for whoever's manning the wheel of the system, whoever has the power and the money. Specifically, people who are in the upper echelons of the pyramid. Now, I don't know for certain who's the one manipulating, the puppet master. I have my suspicions. I've heard different theories on that. It could be like, for example, an entity from a different dimension. And I know a lot of people are just simply not going to believe in that stuff or even give it some sort of credence, because it's too far out for them. Especially the religious people. They're some of the worst bunch, because religion just doesn't allow for people to think of other possibilities. Just simply what you've been taught, what the Bible, tells you. But I'm not going to attack religious people. I know some people who are religious, and they are good people, and I like them. But you can't hide the fact that they are stuck in that, myopic view, this far, no further kind of belief system. But you really have to be careful, because I think if you overthink all of this stuff, You start thinking how hopeless everything is. Just everything at once comes at you, and you really think that you're going insane. Um, there's no better, there's no other way to say it, except that's how I was feeling, not too long ago. I mean, I started this channel because I had to get these thoughts out and talk about everything that goes on in this existence and try to find some sort of truth. I'm always in the hopes that I'll find the truth. I'm always thinking that maybe, just maybe, I'll find answers, maybe from other people who join in the conversation, other YouTubers who talk about a lot of the things that I talk about. I won't give shout outs today, but they know who they are. I mean, they're really good people for questioning. Even if I don't agree with everything, no one's gonna ever agree with everybody on everything. But you've tried to find common ground on the basics, or at least the most important things. Like, I think one of the most important things is the conspiracies, the ones that shouldn't be in power, who are controlling and manipulating all of humanity in the main goal of control, total control. There's no question that it's happening. We're on the road to totalitarian tiptoe. We're going that road. But everything is just so overwhelming in this existence. You have to work to exist, and you got to, because you got to pay bills, you got to buy food. We've gone are the days of hunter-gatherer type thing many years ago. So a lot of humans have lost touch with our origins, whatever they may be, but we were hunter-gatherers at one point. But now it's all about having to exchange your time for the paper, which is now less and less valued. They print it like crazy. It used to be backed by gold, which gold and silver, I still believe, though we put a value to it, but it still has that total value. Most people cherish it more than money, right? I mean, it's something that you can use in technological things and whatnot. But there's just so much things going on at once here. There's the suffering and pain that everyone has to endure in this existence. There's no escaping it. The only way we can sort of find solace is accepting it, which sucks. It's hard to accept these things. It's hard to say, "Oh, I guess that's the way it is," and but you have no choice. It's either that or you live in misery. Some of the worst things I've spoken about in the past is losing loved ones, losing people you're close to, losing people that you're never gonna see again, most likely. I mean, no one knows what happens after we're gone. No one knows what the hell happens. And this is part of the thing that can make you go crazy, is that what the hell's after this? And I think that's why a lot of religious people find solace in the religion, because it's just simpler explanation. They don't have to think too hard about it. It's just, well, there you go. That's the way it is. We go to heaven and you do the right thing. Easy explanation, easy peasy. And you don't have to think about all the other things. You can basically dismiss a lot of the evil that goes on in the world, because you just say, well, they're going to pay the price by going to hell. They don't know that for sure. No one knows that for sure. Maybe it does exist, but no one knows that for sure. There's just so many complex things going on all at once in this place. You got to deal with people. You got to deal with irritating people. You got to deal with people you can never convince, even though, sure, we're not always right. But when you know you're right and the truth is there, it's like you can't deny it. People still don't want to believe it. I'm going to do a video about that, about trying to get through to people. Most people have to just keep working and working and working. And for what? That's the other thing. People have kids. They bring more people into this place. It's just, what's the point of that? They're going to suffer too. They're going to feel pain. They're going to endure. They're going to have to work. Unless you're born into a rich, wealthy family, which, I mean, that has its own implications of pain and suffering and other things that you have to worry about when you have money. Obviously, better problems than having to worry about, you know, surviving, having a roof over your head and not ending up homeless. But do you know what I mean? It's just every single thing, there's an angle. You got to look after your health. You don't look after your health, you don't do some exercise, you don't move, you don't eat properly, which you have to be able to afford to eat properly because those types of foods are more expensive. Sure, some fast foods are and whatnot, but I mean, this whole thing is just absolutely bizarre in my opinion. I mean, I can't think of a better word to describe this existence, what we have to go through. And I mean, let's say you accumulate a lot of stuff. This is another good point. You accumulate a lot of stuff which we don't really need. Most people don't need half the shit we have. But obviously the economy and, the keeping up with the Joneses makes you want to go and buy this shit. Um, like, unless you have someone that you can leave it for, it's going nowhere. You take nothing after this, no matter what it is at the end. Whatever money you have, whatever items you have, everything gets left behind. I have a friend. He never had kids. He's an older man. He has some stuff and whatnot. Like, he has things of value and he has a house and all. Like, he has no one to leave it to. I've given him advice. I said, leave it to, spread it through your friends, donate it if you want to a, a good, reputable charity. I don't always say that, but I mean something that you can help someone. I don't know. It's just people accumulate stuff, and then they're bang, gone. And it's like it could happen so quickly. No one really knows when their time is up. No one is enjoying the life. No one is doing the things they want to do, hardly. I mean, for most people. I see it. I walk through societies. I've walked the streets of Toronto. I've walked the streets of Rio. I've watched other big cities in Brazil. I've been to a small town in Argentina. I've been to places in Portugal. It's all one big struggle for most people. And at the end of the day, it really didn't mean anything. At least from what I can see, none of it really amounts to much. It's just, there's so many different avenues to deal with in life, so many different complex issues. You got to deal with the idiot politics of the world events, and natural disasters, and suffering all over the world, people starving, and yeah, okay, I know people are going, well, there's nothing you can do about it, so you have to put that out of your mind. I can't. I'm not that kind of person. I know that I have to sort of, what do you call it? Be more organized in my thoughts and try not to let it dominate my life. But that's the kind of person I am. That's why I do these videos. That's why I talk about these things. People give me some good topics too, of course. It's always welcome when I get good topics. But I just, the only thing I can see is that we're one sort of like an experiment here. I don't know. Maybe when we were lab rats. I don't know. That could be possible too. I don't see that this whole, whatever the universe may be, whether it's like some sort of dimensional matrix, or I don't know, parallel, I believe in parallel universes possibly, but whatever that is, whatever the landscape is, there's too many things out there that are unexplained. Possibly there could be other life, whatever that is. I don't know. But do you see what I mean? I think most people get by in their life without, losing it, because they don't think about these things. Now, stress is a very constant thing in this world, in this life. There's no avoiding it. I talked about this in another video. But it's being our undoing. It has been humanity's undoing. So much evil in the world, whatever your definition of evil may be, hurting others. I don't care what you believe, it's not right. You get these globalists doing the same thing. They hurt people, they don't give a damn, they're without empathy. They're probably like some sort of demonic possession. I don't know. I call those people demons. Whatever, however you want to take it. Demons are running this place. Not in the biblical term, but evil, probably interdimensional people. I don't know. Maybe they're taking orders from them. I know it sounds ludicrous, but it's not. When you do the research like I've done, when you've read a lot, when you've watched a lot of people who've presented their evidence and their findings, the more and more you go down these things, the more you see, holy shit, this stuff is real. I mean, how do you explain this existence? If you can't believe that we're here right now, how can you not believe in other things? For me, there's no limit to what possibilities there are, what things exist. You know, I should do a video about time travel. Is that possible? Most likely. There's nothing that is impossible. Just look at the technology even today. Wi-Fi. You're receiving information invisibly out of thin air. So you're telling me nothing is possible? Nothing in this existence is possible? Everything is possible. For me, everything is on the table. I just wish we could live without being interfered with, you know. Even if it was this matrix or simulation, if we didn't have outside influences, if we didn't have these people manipulating every single thing of our lives, you know, poisoning us, polluting everything, killing the habitat, the life forms that also live on this planet with us, things would be way better. But humans always have to interfere with everything. They always have to meddle in everything. They always have to control other people. It's absolutely sickening. And it can be very overwhelming. All they want is money. People want money, money, money. Because our perception of this existence has been manipulated. Just like anything else. You watch a commercial, it's whatever it is, some flashy item that, you know, they do. Oh, you gotta have this to be, you know, a cool guy with the sunglasses. And I mean, I'm just giving examples there. I'm just spitballing. But you know what I mean? You see people still living in fear of everything. Sure, you have to be cautious because there's a lot of shitty people out there. But so many people still wearing the mask because of a certain thing. Like, come on. What is going on? That is perceptual manipulation. And look how much mental illness is going on in the world. It's not from thinking about things. Sure, you could possibly feel like you're, you know, losing it from doing the research that I do, talking about topics, because it can be very negative at times and it can get to you. But I find ways to, you know, limit that and what's the word? Litigate or whatever, you know. I always mix up those words. But, you know, I try to find ways to not always be on the low vibration. I know these videos that I put out here seem that it's always negative and stuff, but I mean, do you want the truth or do you want to be lied to? That's the simple thing. But I see so many people just because of they don't have the money, they start doing drugs, and there's just so fucking much suffering in this place. If you don't see it like I do, then you're obviously not living in the reality of this existence, of this realm, because it's astronomically high, the amount of suffering, the amount of problems which causes suffering. And sure, a majority of it is caused by humans, but it's the very construction of this realm that has allowed these things to fester and happen. You know what I mean? Like our bodies can only take so much abuse and stress and physical stress, mental stress, it reaches a certain limit. Why does that limit exist? You know, whatever was, however we got here, created in that way. And it's like, why? What for? And yes, I know the religious people come out and say it's a test and this and that. And no, it can't be. This is too ridiculous. I know I threw a lot of things out at you guys, but the point is, the very point that I want to take you guys to take from this video is that it's okay to question everything, and you should question everything. But if you don't take a moment back and just sort of chill out a bit, and like I try to do, you feel like you're losing it. You question your sanity, and it's not a good feeling. But it is necessary to question everything, to want to find out what the hell is going on. What is our purpose here? If there even is a purpose at all. My thing is, like I said, if we didn't have so much shit here, if we weren't being manipulated, if we weren't being attacked and, those on the top trying to destroy us, we could have a real good time here. People would be happier. We could fix the problems. We could try to solve the problems. Sure, not every problem can be solved overnight, but we could do it. We could at least not be in the position we're in, where it's a constant battle to survive, especially in like third world countries. It's terrible. I'm here in Toronto, Canada. It's not bad. Sure, it's a different type of suffering and problems that happen here. But I mean, if you go to other countries, like I live in Brazil, like I mentioned, and the suffering there is worse than here. And it's really changed people, and they're only a product of their environment, If you're constantly worried about putting food on the table, taking care of your kids, trying to get an education, trying to just survive if you live in a really terrible neighborhood, not getting killed by the drug traffickers and gangs and things like that. It's a whole other level of suffering and just terrible life. Some people are able to get out, some aren't. But yeah, I'm not gonna continue rambling on. I just wanted to get this off my chest and talk about it, just to say how effing complex this whole thing is, I'm grateful for all of you. I'm grateful that you're here with me on the journey to find the truth, or at least to, I know sometimes I sound like I rant, but it has to be done. This is the reality. This is what it is. There's no escaping it. And yeah, so let me know what your thoughts are about this, everything that I talked about in this video. And thanks again for watching, as usual. I appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next video very soon. Bye for now.